Welcome back, trainers, and in this video we're going to be doing story time again because you guys wanted to hear more stories. We're going to go ahead and do that and take a look at my shiny Pokemon. So the topic of these stories are going to be crazy roommates. Probably, I'm not going to say the worst, but it's horrible. It's a horrible situation to be in because you can't kick them out because there's a law that says you can't kick them out even if they don't pay rent. Now, let's go ahead and get into this. This was about around the time where Heart Gold and Soul Silver's remakes were being released with the Pokewalker. Personally, myself got scraped. I think I had to sell some games because I was broke, had no job or anything like that. Yeah, anyways. So the first roommate, I was on the bus and I was getting off of it next to my house, right? And then my old friend I hadn't seen in years. He had a good head on his shoulder the last time I met him. He hops off the bus as well. He didn't get off because I got off. That was his stop, and he was going somewhere near where I was. And I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he had this look in his eyes, like something has changed with him, and it wasn't good at all. First thing I noticed was just a very disgusting alcohol stench off of his breath, and this is like 2 p.m. in the day, right? And I was like thinking to myself, nah, didn't judge him quite yet. Sometimes some people just, do that early in the day, which I guess you do you. So he was talking, and I needed a roommate, and I was like, yeah, man, come over. Yeah. He's like, I was looking for a place. I'm with my girlfriend. I was like thinking, okay, this can, I need a roommate. I've lived with him before in the past. Yeah, so let's work this out. They came over. And I was like, yeah, make yourself at home, and this is your room. Gave him the master bedroom. I took the small one, of course, that only makes sense, right? And I went out to do something. I don't know exactly. Came back a few hours later to a alcohol-stenched apartment. There was beer cans all over the floor and beer on the ground. I was like, you got to be kidding me already? There's no way. No way. And they have already gotten into a fight. And he was already in his mode, and I was like, "No, this is horrible." Nah, right off the bat. So I was thinking to myself, "Okay, maybe just a bad day again. Just give him the benefit of the doubt, even though it's day one, not even day one, just a few hours in." Weeks go by, and they start having parties. And if you're thinking, "Well, why don't you just kick him out?" I was very desperate for roommates. I needed somebody else to help me pay the rent. His girlfriend was a sweetheart. Let's just get that out of the way. She didn't do that like him. It was just him. I don't know what, it was just, doing his thing. So parties after parties, they weren't the worst. We had the neighbors knocking on the door. You're being loud. I was an idiot back then and stuff. For the most part, I never really threw parties. I had a few friends over and we just kind of like played games and stuff. And that's pretty much it. So, eventually I had to kick him out. It was just an insane roller coaster ride. That, it wasn't so bad. But yeah, there was a lot of heated nights where, he was doing that, that drinking thing and his friends were there and everybody started getting crazy and the place just got trashed. So, word to the wise, pick your roommates very wisely. Okay. And this is just my advice to the young people out there. When you get older, stay away from alcohol. It's just a simple, short version of it. Once in a while when you're of age. But I personally just hate the stuff. It changes people, and it just it's a violent thing. It makes people violent. But anyways, yeah, that happened. It was really sad to see him change like that. And I can, like I said, get into more details, but probably gonna keep it to like PG-13, and we'll just go like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This one's going to be more exciting for you guys, okay? That was just kind of more of a sad story of a friend who deteriorated into that. The next one here is going to be another friend of mine who's actually not in state anymore. But his girlfriend, yet again, I'm not going to name names, was something else. Now, I have a best friend who's actually out of state. His name is Mikey. Really good guy. I've been friends with him since we were just little, and we're still friends, right? We were both friends with this guy who had this girlfriend who was just absolutely, just nuts, just crazy. So let's get into this. So he became my roommate, I do believe, after the other guy. might have been before. I don't remember. It was like kind of a blur back then. So much stuff happening. Nonetheless, a lot of roommates, and so they came in there. This time around, I kept the master bedroom. I don't know why I did that. I don't know. Anyways, and it was whatever. They just kept to themselves, stayed in their room, and blah 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 blah. Sometimes me and him hung out, but she was one of those chicks where if he hung out with me for like 10 minutes, she would just start getting all pissed off, like, get back to the room. Like, give me a break. What the heck? All right. So anyways, one day he had made a pizza and I was so broke, right? So broke. It was to the point where I was down to like, I had green beans in a can. That was pretty much it. I was just eating green beans. He had made a pizza and it was just sitting out for a while and they had eaten, most of it by then. And I was just like looking at it like, I don't want to disturb him, but that pizza's looking kind of old and I'm really hungry. I'm going to have a slice. So that it apparently stemmed from a lot of trouble. A slice of pizza. And eventually it turned into this full-blown she was flipping tables, and let's go ahead and get into it. Now, I don't exactly remember 100% how it actually just happened, but one night she just lost her mind. Lost it. Like, screaming at me, attacking me, and trying to kill me. So basically, she grabbed one of those fire pokers. I don't know the exact name of those things. It has like the sharp point and then kind of like a hook. You like poke the fire with it, right? Anyways, that sharp hook part. So she was basically holding this thing above her head saying, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And it's like, well, and she took swings. All the while I had a feeling that I was in control. I could have grabbed it. But still, nonetheless, you have somebody swinging one of those, that image I just put up there, that is going to, if that hits you, it's not going to be fun, right? And if that hits me in the head, it's probably going to be fatal. So, eventually, I just had to kind of put her in a lock. She could still breathe. It wasn't like a chokehold per se, but it was just a lock to just, I muscled my way in there. I grabbed it from her. And then I let go eventually because there's no point to just continue to hold her in the lock. As actually there was, and I'll tell you why. So I took the poker, ran outside, and hid it in a bush. Went back inside, and she was freaking flipping tables and my couch and everything like a Hulk. Literally, just going Hulk inside my house, destroying it all. So I was forced to do that again. I was like, you need to stop. This is everything I have. What are you doing? I'm surprised she didn't go for my Xbox 360 and smash it or something like that. I think she might have even tried to. But anyways, so she starts flipping things, and I'm like, you know what? I'm calling the cops. This is too much. You're nuts. And as soon as I said that, she's like, well, I'm going to call the cops. It's funny. Every time I tell people that when they're doing something completely nuts, like they're just going psycho, they kind of like try to flip it as if when they call the cops, they're going to be okay, even though they did something absolutely horrible. It's like, what do you think? They're going to arrest me when you're the one who is doing it? So I call the cops and she calls the cops when I'm calling them, like, okay, that's not going to help your situation. So the cops eventually arrived. But before they did get there, I called my friend Melvin, who passed away. God bless him. He was like one of my best friends as well. Grew up with him as well, too. So good guy. But he picked me up. He was like one of those friends where anytime I needed something, he was there every single time. It was just he was a lifesaver. So he picks me up. I'm afraid that I'm going to be in trouble because I put her in a lock, a chokehold. Well, not a chokehold, but just a lock, right? Even though she was threatening my life, I felt like because I put my hands on her, I would be in trouble. That's just the mentality that I have, all right? And I know a lot of you guys know this, which, it's just the way it is, right? You shouldn't put your hands on a woman unless she's almost going to kill you like that. And there was no hits, just something to detain her from the psychoness and destroy my place. So the cops were called. I left because I thought I would be arrested, both of us, because we both attacked each other. But the cops called me. They're like, hey, we just want to talk. I was like, I don't know. I'm afraid that you're going to, do something, like arrest me, even though I wasn't in the wrong at all. I was just trying to stop her. They're like, no, we just want to hear your stories. Like, can you hear my story right here through the phone? Go outside and look for the fire poker. It's out there. That's what she was using to attack me. Look in my apartment. It's thrashed. Why would I thrash my own apartment? You can clearly hear I'm not intoxicated, so I'm not some, crazy drunk person just making up something. They put 2 and 2 together. She was arrested. Bam, done. She eventually got out and still was acting psycho, but she had to kind of control herself because I think she would have gotten even bigger trouble if she did anything else. So stemming from this, let's go take it back, like, I think maybe a year or 2 years or so. That friend who was dating her, my friend Mikey that I was telling you about, one of my best friends, and then another friend of mine, we're all hanging out. This was over in Anchorage, obviously, in a place called Clatfield. Now, my friend had dropped off his car. We all hopped in my friend's car, and we were just driving around. This is what we did at night sometimes, just hanging out. We came back to his car engulfed in flames. All right? We couldn't believe it. It was like something in a movie. Like, this was in the middle of winter, in the middle of the night. We drove around to the, there was like 2 parking lots. There's like a dog park area, and then there's like this park spot. So we went to the park spot and were just watching it. We called the police, and then we saw the fire trucks come. But all the while, there was this Jeep parked next to us, just watching it. We're like, I wonder if they're just here because they're driving and they saw the fire, or if they're the ones who did it. We didn't make any accusations. We just kind of dismissed it like, this is nuts, right? So come to find out, several years later, that crazy girl who was attacking me, her and her sister put that freaking car on fire. Oh yeah, it was her the whole time. So this woman is nuts. Yeah, and she's actually a part of the Pokemon Go community. I haven't seen her at raids or anything like that. It was just like when it first came out in Facebook or something in some group. But I haven't seen her at all. So it's like she hasn't seen me, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, that's just a couple of the stories that I wanted to tell you guys. But before we go, I actually have one more quick story for you guys here. I have a ton of these roommate stories. Man, oh man, those days were just bad. Anyways, this was when I was dating my ex, and we were actually all living together with my son, right? She had one of her friends come over. She was one of these, like, the person that she had invited was like one of these wannabe gangsters. And my ex is in no way, shape, or form like that. But this person, she was. And oh my gosh, they are one of the most annoying types of people you can encounter, right? Anyway, she eventually tried to have me get kicked out and have my laptop taken away from me like I didn't deserve it. And my cell phone, absolutely. There's some weird people out there, guys. There's some weird people. All the while I paid for all of that. Anyways, if you did enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up. I'll be catching you guys on the next video. Take care.